Welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Geo.
And I'm Josie.
And I just wanted to say, thanks to everyone who's, leaving comments on our videos. Um, it lets me know that we're engaging in topics that, people want to talk about. And that's the best indicator that I'm picking the right topics. Yeah, if you want us to cover certain things, just let us know in the comments. You can also tweet us at gamesibeat. And if you like any of our videos, please subscribe.
It really
It's
helps.
it really helps, and I don't know what's going on with the YouTube algorithm, but it's like a lot of people who are doing like news shows, which technically this is a gaming show, but we focus on news.
And
They
gaming.
Yeah, but it's like if your show focuses on news, from what I understand, that is not mainstream. You don't get good rankings in the search algorithm.
Hmm.
That was like recently revealed from the CEO. She said we're de-ranking people who are not mainstream news sources. So because we
So
don't,
so so it's no longer YouTube.
it's yeah, essentially they're moving away from content creators and moving more toward, but at least for news, at least when it comes to news, they're moving away from content creators and moving more towards mainstream, which defeats the whole purpose of YouTube. But I don't know if we fall in that category because we are gaming, but at the same time, we're covering news stories. So I don't know how they have us categorized, to be
I just
honest.
see YouTube slowly morphing into what TV was,
Yes, yes, which is not
just
good.
online.
Yeah, which is not good. So please, the best thing you can do if you want to help us is just subscribe, comment, and uh, share the videos with your friends, and then keep the discussion going. Because for whatever reason, we're just not getting picked up in the algorithm, and which is strange because we get a lot of comments. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who comment on our videos and for being such low views. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I've seen videos with thousands of views who don't get as much comments as we get. So yeah, thanks everyone for who comment and
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. Okay, so first story up. This came out this week. Welcoming Housemarque to the PlayStation Studios family. Now, me and Josie, we had a back and forth on this.
Not too much. I ultimately agree with you.
Yeah, and so let's just talk about what happened. So I'm gonna read this. Um, Today is a big day for Housemarque, and it has been over 26 years in the making. Our strong partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment started with Super Stardust HD on PS3, and since then we have made arcade-inspired games for all of the PlayStation platforms, with Returnal for PS5, our most recent release, our biggest foray into third-person action gaming, solidified our voice and brand in the industry as delivering unique and quality player experiences. We are so excited to finally join the PlayStation Studios family. This gives our studio a clear future and a stable opportunity to continue delivering on gameplay-centric approaches while still experimenting with new methods of narrative delivery and pushing the boundaries of this modern art form. So it says locally here in Helsinki. So that's Finland, right? Uh, so they're a Finnish studio, I believe. Um, and so I'm not gonna read the rest, but um, I'm gonna post this in the description. So let's get let's get on to why I was skeptical of this news. So first of all, if you're like a big fan of Housemarque and they haven't put out as many games as bigger studios, obviously because they don't have the funding, right? So the benefit of this hopefully is that they get a cash infusion, which allows them to hire more developers and put out more titles, right? So that's the benefit of this.
Yes.
But as
That's
we
initially why I was excited for it.
yes, yeah, and that's why I think initially a lot of people were excited. But why I was skeptical is because we have covered several stories now where PlayStation or yeah, Sony Interactive has shuttered really good small studios or has forced their talent to leave because instead of allowing them to produce the games that they want to produce, they're forcing them to work on AAA titles for like Naughty Dog. And so that's what I'm skeptical about. Like, are they gonna just say, yeah, hands off Housemarque, we're gonna let them do what they do, or are they gonna go, oh man, it's crunch time. We need help on
Last
the
of Us
Last
3.
of yeah, on Last of Us 3. So sorry guys, you gotta work on Last of Us now, and put your game to the side for like a year. So I mean, am I being too paranoid? What do you think about it?
No, if anything, I was blinded. I was blinded by like, yes, Housemarque, that sounds fantastic. And also the idea that, we just had E3 and Xbox had a pretty damn good showcase where they're showing off the fruits of their labor in terms of the studios that they've acquired.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, Sony's making moves, trying to have that first party punch that
Hmm.
they've maintained for a while, but it seems like Xbox is gaining ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So with Housemarque, I was super excited, especially since I loved Returnal, I love Nex Machina, and just in general, I feel like they're making the kinds of games that are lacking in the industry, which is like higher quality semi indie games.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that regard, I was pretty excited. But then you brought that up, and literally, I was just reminded Japan Studios.
Yes.
Japan Studios fits in that kind of niche,
Yeah.
and I adore. Literally, Gravity Rush is one of my favorite games. And you get those kinds of games from these smaller studios, not
Hmm.
not people that are just focused on AAA titles.
Yeah.
And there's risk in that.
Yeah.
And Sony has been risk aversive for a bit,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
anything, it's getting worse, especially with the kinds of news that we've covered before. So it was bittersweet. I was like, "Yay!" And then you were like, "Hey, bro, remember all this crap?" And you're like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like I was like raining on your parade, but
But no,
uh,
no, no. I mean, I needed it because my parade.
yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man, I fully see the why everyone's excited,
Yeah.
but we should be cautious at the same time because at the end of the day, you know, uh, time and
They're
time
gonna go
again,
where the money goes.
yes, time and time again, we've seen small studio. EA is notorious for this. They just
Oof.
they just chew up and spit out talented studios constantly, and so I would say like if I could like sit down with someone at Housemarque and tell them, okay, how would you future proof yourself from all the negatives we talked about? I would say do your best to write a philosophy to make a framework for the philosophy of your games. That way, if Sony does put you on a project you don't want to be on, you can always come back and refresh your inspiration, your philosophy. You won't lose it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I feel like studios that don't set it in stone, like this is how we make games, kind of like how Miyazaki does with his games. You know what I mean? Like if you notice, Dark Souls 2 was the only one he wasn't working directly on at the time
And
because
it's the outlier.
and it's the outlier and I wonder why that is because
They're,
when
they're
you
like, just do Dark Souls 1 again. You can do it.
yeah. So if you were to take the guy who or the main people who were like the inspiration for Returnal, and then you were to put them on like um, Last of Us, and they're like, "Screw this, man! This isn't what I want to do," and they leave the studio. Then Housemarque goes back to making another game. Well, you just lost the magic. You know what I mean? You just lost the magic. So
Well, there's a good
you
example actually, more recently, and this is unfortunate because it's an example of where games are going in terms
mhm.
of games as a service. Square Enix, they acquired Eidos or
Oh yeah,
Eidos, however you want to pronounce it,
yeah.
and they made some awesome. I love Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
Hmm.
Mankind Divided wasn't that bad. It got a lot of flack, but I think it was like part one to a greater whole, if you will.
Yeah,
But Deus Ex is some of my favorite games, and the same team behind it, they were forced to do Marvel's Avengers. And you can tell the lack of care or passion in those games
yeah,
as compared to something like Deus Ex, where granted it's not the best looking game, but there's a lot of heart behind it,
yeah.
and there's a lot of passion behind what they did, and
Hmm.
so like it just makes it for a very fun gameplay experience.
Yeah.
And you're shining a light on what that possible future
Hmm.
for someone like Housemarque, where they love making these kinds of games like Nex Machina or Returnal, but what if they are forced to do something that
Yeah.
isn't in their wheelhouse but is ordained by the powers that be?
Yeah. And I used to work for a small studio that got destroyed by EA, and at the time we were doing crunch, we were working 60 hours a week, but we liked the game, and that's why we did it. If you don't like the game and you're forced to work like crunch, the love's not going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, if you're working that amount of hours, you need to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
You need to like what you're working on. So yeah, I
Ooh,
mean,
ooh,
yeah.
Platinum Games, Babylon's Fall.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't look like a Platinum game.
No,
It
it
may it may
doesn't.
it may look like it plays like a Platinum game,
Yeah,
but the passion behind the art direction is not there.
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
And that's but that they weren't acquired though.
they weren't acquired,
No,
but who knows where the decision to make that game came from? I mean,
true.
it could have
Square
come
Square
from the
Enix.
up. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, so there, you like just be skeptical because you
Cautiously
know,
optimistic.
cautiously optimistic. Like, I hope it works out. I hope they give them creative freedom and they just give them the resources they need. But lately, we've kind of been seeing the opposite from them. So just take it with some optimist or
Grain of
co-
salt.
yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Sorry, I get all my
You forgot the word words.
yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm one of the worst people with like colloquials and shit, man. Like
Colloquialisms.
colloquialisms. Like I mess them up constantly.
It's all good.
I've always been that way, so it is what it is.
I'll be I'll be your safety net.
I'm like that guy from what's that movie? Boondock Saints, one of my favorite like cult classics where he's like, "Make like a tree and get the fuck out of here."
I was thinking more like Sandra Bullock from Demolition Man, and
Oh
how
yeah,
she just
yeah.
kept she was like so far in the future, which is only 30 years, but she kept getting everything wrong.
Yeah, she was like, she said, I actually, funny enough, you said that I watched it last night,
Dude, I
and
love that movie.
yeah, I love it. And she was like talking to Sylvester Stallone,
Stallone.
and she goes, you need to, uh, what did she say? Like match your meat,
Yeah, yeah,
and he wants to lick your ass or something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. You,
He's
meet
like, he's like, meet
met
your
your
match
match.
and kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All
Every
right.
restaurant is Taco Bell.
Yeah, yeah. That would be hell.
No,
Okay.
are you kidding me? Chalupas for
Dude,
days,
I would not.
years.
I would die from malnourishment. All right. Next up, why Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are only on Steam and mobile. This is a theory. So I kind of went into a tirade about this because these are the kind of games that I would want to buy the collection on Switch. You know what I mean? And when I saw that they were only on Steam, actually, not just me, a lot of people. If you go to look at the release trailer for this game, it has a lot of thumbs down. And there's a lot of people like, why isn't it on console? Why isn't, you know what I mean? Like all the comments are like, why isn't it on Switch? Why isn't it on this? And so uh, Kirsten Carey from Screen Rant wrote this article, which actually makes sense. So
Let's hear it.
yeah,
I'm actually interested.
if you look here, she brought up some interesting numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. The choice to make the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters mobile games may only be strange to those of us in the U.S. Final Fantasy, uh, uh, those of us in the U.S. Final Fantasy is a Japanese franchise after all,
Those of
and
us in the us. Say
yeah,
it right.
and Square Enix is a Japanese company, and mobile gaming is huge in Japan. In the first 9 months of 2020, Japan alone counted for 22% of mobile game player spending. Now, that sounds 22% isn't like, like 50% or more, but what she does is break down the amount of people. So, according to Sensor Tower, to use comparative numbers in 2020, 209.5 million American mobile gamers brought in only twice as much revenue as their 32.2 million Japanese counterparts. So they are outspending Americans on mobile games like vastly. Like the amount is like insane, you know what I mean, per capita.
Yes.
According to the DCI, as slightly contradictory side note, uh, Hitman Sniper and Lara Croft Go are both products of Square Enix Europe, so that kind of contradicts the theory that it might just be because Japanese are spending so much. But I think if you just look at those numbers at face value, it does make sense that Square Enix is pushing for more of the mobile market. And here she brings up a good point. Um, their EA presentation also included trailers for high concept mobile games like Hitman Sniper Near Reincarnation and Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier. So it's not just, this is just like a weird one off where they're like, yeah, we're going to make these games for, Steam and mobile. No, we see them pushing in this direction hard with the Final Fantasy game, the Nier game, and the Hitman game. So to me, that argument makes sense. I didn't get it at first because I was like, they're basically like throwing away money, right? But if their main focus is the mobile market revenue that they see from Japan, and they're not willing to put in all the time to port and do quality assurance for consoles, right? Then it makes sense that, okay, because it's, if you think about it, right? If you're porting to mobile, you can easily port that same code to PC, right?
Yes.
The Android game.
Hmm.
So there really is no extra work for them to develop the games for mobile and then do a quick port to Steam, right?
Okay.
But there would be a lot of extra work if they were to say port all of those to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox because they have all their own software development kits. So they would have to port them into those, and then they would have to run QA on all of them, right? And make quality of life adjustments. So I think that's a sound theory. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it sounds sound.
Yeah,
I agree. It sucks,
it does suck.
but at the same time, it's just kind of weird because 1 through 6 are already on mobile. They're
Yeah.
not even available. They're not even available on consoles. And
Yes.
they have been making, I guess, exemptions.
Hmm.
Like, look at Collection of Mana. Collection of
Yeah.
Mana's on the Switch. It's on. Is it on PS4 as well? I believe it's on PS4.
Yes. I have it.
And
I
then
actually have it on PS4.
and then the collection of Saga, which is only digital. There's no physical for that.
Yeah.
That's also available on the Switch. And Dragon Quest 1 through 3, they released those on the Switch as well. So I don't know. I
It's
mean,
weird, right?
I I want to completely agree with it, but at the same time, Switch is also going gangbusters in Japan. I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, Switch is dominating the console market in Japan.
Yeah, so I mean, why not have that portfolio?
Yeah.
I don't I don't understand excluding consoles. That's all.
Yes.
So I understand wanting to push for mobile, but is the time differential really the breaking factor in
Yeah.
terms of sales?
You know what? I think if you look at the numbers on, like I said, on their face value, you can see from a business standpoint why they did it for the initial launch. But they did not say it will not come out for console later, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so maybe the way they're looking at it is like, hey, we got all these projects. Let's get this up and running, launch it on Steam and mobile. We'll see the feedback, and then we'll decide if we're going to bring it out to console after.
I mean, they still have yet to bring out Chrono Trigger,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you're right.
that's on mobile and Steam.
Yeah,
So
you're right. So, yeah, I mean, it just it's confusing. like it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the
you
same
just
time.
want to sit down with Square Enix and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shake them.
Yeah, like what are you doing, man?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
um yeah, just be like this doesn't make sense. Like at least I mean, yeah, it would suck if they only released it on the Switch for like PlayStation and Xbox owners, but um at least at the minimum release it on Switch, you know what I mean? Like but you know what? I did bring up one thing when we were talking is that even if these games come out for Steam and they didn't put in the effort for the Steam port, obviously I don't think they're going to do it. Because they're on Steam and because the modding community is so strong for these games, we're probably going to see all the issues fixed by fans,
Fair.
which is not fair to I mean, dude, these people have jobs. You know what I mean? Like they have jobs and lives. Like why should they fix your games? But at the same time, it's like,
Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but some eagle-eyed fans have already pointed out that the Pixel remasters aren't as high quality as maybe some of the pixels from back in the day, or at
mm-hmm,
least the PSP remakes of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which are
mm-hmm,
fantastic. They're phenomenal. Um, and I think they lack clarity or depth. I don't know one of the two, but there was
yeah,
someone that actually compared what we've seen in the Pixel remasters from the trailers
mm-hmm.
to what we've had in the past, and even then, like these
It
Pixel
doesn't.
remasters aren't as yeah as much of a step up,
Okay,
or some of them are a step down in some instances, which is
okay,
unfortunate when you get that.
yeah, and also let's talk about the ridiculous price.
Oh yeah, like 70 something
$72.
dollars for all six.
Yeah,
That's
$72.
insane.
That's
That's
insane, man.
insane.
So
Are they
yeah,
charging?
they're
Yeah, I think they're charging $10 for 1 and 2 each, obviously.
yeah, yeah,
Which
and
I can't agree with that.
no. I
Can't
mean,
agree
if
with
I
that.
want to play it, I'll just play it on my PlayStation. I have
No,
the.
don't. That's literally the worst way to play it.
Oh,
I'm
it is.
telling you, yeah, play it on the PlayStation Portable. The PlayStation Portable, or at least if you want to on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Dawn of Souls was pretty cool. That's actually the first time I played it. But then I played it again on the PSP. The PSP is the way to go. Not gonna lie.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm. Needless to say, I'm not gonna get it. So, I'm gonna wait and see if they like wisen up and release it on Switch. Um, And so yeah, we'll see. But it would be so neat to have all six of those games on a Switch cartridge. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Like when
Yeah.
I saw Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 available on the cartridge, but only in Asia,
Hmm.
I had to pick it up.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to. And
Did you order it from PlayAsia?
correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I love that. And I love that they're remaking 1, 2, and 3 via or is it just 3? I forget.
Hmm.
The 2D HD remakes a
Hmm.
la Octopath Traveler style.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's pretty
Super
cool.
sick. Yeah, I'm like if they could do that with the Final Fantasies, that'd be tight.
Yeah, that would
Um,
actually be pretty awesome.
but yeah, no. I lament their decisions and hope they make better choices in the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
And
at least as a fan of consoles over here in the US.
yeah, yeah. No, I fully agree, man. All right. Next up, we have Ghost of Tsushima mini sequel, Ghost of Ikishima, rumored for PS5. So this is a rumor. We always got a disclaimer that. So a new rumor claims that Ghost of Tsushima developer Sucker Punch Productions is preparing a small sequel titled Ghost of Ikishima. This is coming from Twitter user and Xboxera co-founder Specialnik, who accurately leaked a few projects in the past. Over a series of tweets and replies, Nick claimed that Ghost of Ikishima is an expanded alone type game, roughly the size of Spider-Man Miles Morales, aiming for a 2021 release, presumably on PS5 and likely also PS4 given Sony's redoubled plans for cross-gen releases. Altogether, this is a wild and unsupported claim and must be treated as such. Okay. Um, so yeah, this would be cool, man, if it's true, because you and me loved Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Um, you platinumed it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it would be nice to see another story expansion. I would buy it up in a second.
I
Um,
would want to see the price.
yeah. Yeah. Fair. Fair. But I mean, honestly, I'm such a fan of the game. I would probably just buy it
Fair.
because when I ended the game, you know those games when you finish where you feel like almost a sense of loss.
Bro, I mean, here we go. Like I'm gonna put you the hard truth for a second
Yeah.
because I know you're saying this because you're like blinded, and this is funny because it's mirroring what we were just talking about in terms of Housemarque getting acquired.
Yeah.
But a good example is literally Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. They brought out that Yuffie DLC. It's 4 hours of content for $20. Did you get it?
No, no, but
But no. Let me finish.
okay,
Let me
okay.
finish. And you were talking about that same sense of loss when you beat Final Fantasy VII. You were like, "Yo, that remake was so awesome.
It-
I loved it."
yeah, it was. But they said it would be on the same scope of Miles Morales, which
Or
which is much longer, isn't it? Than
not
4 hours.
not consider. Yeah, but 9 hours, bro.
I mean, I'm 9 hours. I'm good with 9 hours. I'm good with 9 hours. I like I sometimes I like playing like 8 or 9 hour games to be honest. Like
Which is fair. Like,
yeah,
granted, like I paid 100 and something dollars for Resident Evil 8 Collector's Edition.
yes, and that's like an eight
And
hour and 10 hour
yeah,
game.
and I beat that game in under 10 hours originally. And then I just kept replaying it.
Yes, yeah. So
Uh,
yeah,
and I love that game. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
So granted, the time value proposition is subjective.
yeah.
Um,
4 hours though is very short, and that
yeah,
is that doesn't warrant the price tag. But we know already we're gonna get it later in a bundle, so
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
Unless
um,
Square Enix does something Square Enixy.
yeah, yeah.
They're like, guess what? This bundle's only available on mobile and Steam.
Yeah, dude, that would be like ridiculous, man. That would be like the dumbest. No, 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 no. What if they go? Sorry, guys, this is only available on PSP, and since you can't buy PSP games, I'm sorry.
It's only available on mobile, but mobile only on the N gauge.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. Like it's a rumor. It's a rumor.
Mm.
But yeah, I would like to see.
Yeah, more content from that world would be awesome. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah.
The combat was fun. The world was so much fun to traverse and live in.
It was. It
It was
was.
gorgeous. It's literally.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it's funny because there's so many cross-generational games coming out for the PS4, but that was supposed to be the PS4 swan song.
It was. Yeah. Well, I think it's still up there. I really do. I think it's still up there.
Oh no, no, I'm not saying it's not, but the
Yeah.
thing is that God of War Ragnarok is going to be on the
Yeah,
PlayStation
that's true.
4.
Yeah, we don't
Horizon Forbidden Wilds
Forbidden
or
West.
Forbidden West
Yeah.
will be on the PlayStation 4, and I mean, I'm already excited for those games, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm going to get them on the PlayStation 5 because I have a PlayStation
Yes.
5.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you know, we always take these rumors with a grain of salt. But yeah, I mean, I freaking love Ghost of Tsushima, so I would love another 8 hour minimum standalone story. I would buy it if it was 8 hours. All right. Next up, so Super Smash Bros. Ultimate players reveal every single attack and combo for Kazuya. So did you
Wow,
watch the reveal?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm not a. I mean, I love Smash. Don't get me wrong, but I just haven't been playing Smash recently, and nor do I have any love for Kazuya. I never really got into Tekken.
Okay.
So this reveal was kind of meh. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it is what it is
Um.
for me.
So
For me,
yeah, fair enough. So we're gonna look at this because here's the
this looks
thing.
intense.
This yes. So here's the thing. you you played the older Tekkens, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tekken 3 was one of the ones that I was introduced to, and then Tekken Tag took over everyone's life.
Yes, you're right about that. I would skip school and go to the arcade and play.
Yeah.
Um. So for people who aren't like hardcore Tekken players, and this is kind of like the way a lot of 3D fighters work. Not all of them, but they have over 100 moves each character. It's ridiculous. And for characters like Kazuya that have been in the game for a long time, they just keep adding. They just keep adding and adding. I think, you know, I was counting up. I play Alyssa and Brian Fury. I was counting up their moves. I think Brian Fury had like around 120 different moves. So Tekken players are used to this. We are used to spending hours and hours just going over each move, seeing what they do, looking at the frame data. So for us, it's common, right? But like Smash has such a simplistic input system, you know what I mean? That the fact that, you know what it kind of reminds me of? Remember Dante and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Yeah.
Remember how many moves they gave him?
So intense.
So intense, right? So this is kind of the same thing. They take a character from another franchise that just has fucking tons of moves, and they're like, how do we represent that here? Well, this is how they're doing it. So if you look, he has um, all his moves are different motion inputs with A, uh, and if you look at it, he has a 10 hit combo. I mean, he has, you know, in Tekken we call them strings, just like simple button combinations that put out simple combos. He's got like a lot of his Tekken moves, his front kick. He has his uh, what's it called? Damn, his spin kick. I forget the name.
They literally have the names right here in front of you.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I can't see it.
I mean, the front left splits kick, leaping side kick, twin pistons, roundhouse to triple spin kicks. I don't know, man.
Yeah. That's what it is. The
Choose your poison. There's so many.
It's the roundhouse of triple spin kicks. But in the game, in Tekken, it's a different name. I'm trying to remember what the Tekken name is. Hell sweep. Well, you know what? Okay, Tekken players call it hell sweeps. That's what Tekken players call it. So, yeah, he's got his hell sweep, and then he has like, you know, different grabs that you see in the game, and then he has his God Fist. He has Wind God Fist, an Electric Wind God Fist, and he has his Dragon Uppercut. Um, and so the purple, these are command inputs. Red are his special moves. His Devil Blaster looks insane, and that's where um, the presentation was kind of like making a fact that like Kazuya is a can be used as a zoning character and a in your face rushdown character.
Yes.
Um, but it's going to be much harder to use him as a in your face rushdown character because his melee attack range is very short compared to other fighters, especially the the Fire Emblem and sword characters.
Mm-hmm.
So and also they gave him his rage drive, which is awesome. So rage was something they added in Tekken Tag 2, where once you get like a certain below a certain threshold, it's like a comeback mechanic. So he has a comeback mechanic in the game, kind of like how they gave Ryu his uh, uh, damn, I can't even think of the name, but where he charges up and stuns you.
Oh yeah, the mechanic from Street Fighter 4.
Yes,
Focus? Isn't
focus
that
attack,
focus? Yeah,
focus
focus
attack.
attack.
Yeah. So yeah, the amount. Look, I'm like you. I'm not a big Smash player, but John is, right? John, our friend of the show. He's a huge Smash player.
Yeah.
You have to appreciate the amount of work and detail they put in to bringing characters from other franchises over.
First of all, I don't have to do a goddamn thing you tell me to do. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
No, it is impressive.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But in terms of actually playing it,
Yeah.
I feel like Hansel from Zoolander. It's like he used Sting as one of his great inspirations. He's like, do I listen to his music? No, but the fact that he's still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like there could be a dude that just like digs ditches all day and it's like you never use his ditches and you never like talk to the guy, but it's like the fact he's out there digging ditches day in day out, I can respect that. I can respect that.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, a lot of work and effort you can tell came to bringing Kazuya into Smash.
Yep, and there's
And
still one character left, right? To
yeah,
reveal, unveil.
and unfortunately, it's not Dante because they made him a me fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what was the Shantae me fighter was pretty cool, to be honest.
Here's hoping it's Beautiful Joe.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I doubt they could do that.
it's beautiful. For those of you that don't know, Beautiful Joe was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a very weird but interesting character.
Yeah. No, I love me some Beautiful Joe.
Yeah.
Platinum Games.
All right. So next up, Guilty Gear Strive update removes references to Taiwan, Tibet, and Uyghur region from in-game story archives.
Yikes.
So I was very disappointed and saddened to see this. And I feel bad too because I bought the game. I actually bought it on. I found one of those Steam keys on sale, and I bought it using one of those. So I didn't pay full price. I got a good deal, but I bought it because my friends are playing it right now, and they're having a blast. And they're like, "Yeah, the netcode is great. Everything about this game is great. The artwork, we've talked about it. Beautiful game." But then I saw this story, and I was like, "Man." So so let's take a look at this. In the story, they brought they mentioned some of these regions. So this is I believe they have a fore and after. So according to the entry as originally written, the century-long conflict had particularly devastating consequences for various Asian populations, leaving countries that had high population density intended to import their food, such as Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore, unable to support or feed their own people. Not only that, but in the aftermath of the war, China further expanded their borders to encompass Uyghur, Tibet, Inner Mongolia, and Siberia regions with lower populations but a lot of natural resources. The influx of Chinese has caused the indigenous races and tribes population to diminish. The glossary entry continues. At the same time, they have increased their own territorial waters. Now, this is game canon, right? But obviously, it's based on reality because a lot of those things are true, right?
Yes.
Um, but so that's part of their story. They took some, you know, they took some liberties, I'm assuming, but they took some historical context and then they integrated it into their story for the game, right? That's fine. That's their right. We have tons of movies and games. That's what we do. We take history and then we expand it or, make alternate versions or, that's par for the course. But a user noticed that that was changed. So here we look at it now. Instead, the entry now simply refers to the various nations using only a vague umbrella term, countries and regions, though curiously still retains allusions to post-Crusade Chinese imperialism. It reads now, the Federation of China has further expanded there to encompass nearby regions with lower populations but a lot of natural resources. As of writing, it is unknown what specifically led Arcsys to make these edits, though they were likely done in response to an assumed backlash from Chinese players, unhappy with the fact that the game made public mentions of countries considered to be politically dissident by the CCP. Further, it should also be noted that that it currently remains unknown which of Guilty Gear Strive's previously released patches resulted in the removal of the text. So they're not even sure which one it was. They just noticed before and after. As none of the patch notes for the game's updates make any note of the aforementioned changes being made to the game's glossary. So this is a. I don't know if you've been following. Did you follow the John Cena thing? Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was crazy, wasn't it? It was insane.
It was something.
It was. I thought it was pathetic. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I thought it was pathetic. Like he was begging, pretty much. So, uh, this is a problem because, look, you can make an argument that this in no way affects the quality of the game, right? The game still, they didn't change any gameplay, they didn't change anything like that. The game's still the same, right? You can totally make that argument. That's a fair argument. This is just text in their story. But the reason this is a problem is because you and me talk about this many, many times. Is that once you open the door to censoring people's stories, their creative visions, you get watered down products. You know what I mean? And not only do you get watered down products, but you're you're kind of lying to yourself and you're kind of lying to your customers. You know what I mean? You're you know what it's like? It's like if I came up to you and you were let's say you were trying to sell something in my neighborhood, right?
Okay.
But what you were trying to sell mentioned that, um, you know, long ago my neighborhood, uh, I don't
You're going
know,
too far.
had
You're going
a
you're going too far into this.
yeah, I know, because it's
I
because
get the, I get the
yeah,
point.
it's hard to understand. You know what I mean? It's hard because a lot of people simply don't see the problem with it. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yes.
trying to.
I mean, the same thing happens with censorship of sexual related content, which has
Yes.
been something happening with Sony in general.
Yeah.
It's freedom of expression and freedom of creative license.
Yeah.
And whether and here's the thing though. In terms of real world content,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to be very like I'm walking on eggshells here, but in terms of real world content,
Yeah.
there is freedom of expression only to a degree
Yeah.
until you offend someone or an entity. In this case, it was the CCP.
Yeah. Well, we don't
And
know though. We, it could have
no, no,
been
no, we
players.
don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah. Yeah.
in general,
We assume. Yeah.
it's yeah, it's usually taking offense.
Yes.
It's usually the reason given.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it is about money.
It is. Yeah.
It is about money, and when you open yourself up to that, that is a risk. That is the risk that you take.
Yeah.
So I will grant you that censorship in any form, and I feel this way. We've talked about this
Yeah.
recently, in terms of I think the censorship of Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
Whether people call it censorship or not, I really don't care. Like if it's that subjective, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's censorship, and
Yes.
whether I want to engage in their content or not is my choice.
Yes.
Um, that being said, this definitely does not hamper the gameplay.
Yes.
Thankfully,
Yes.
thankfully.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an ideological censorship,
Yes.
and that I will agree is probably one of the more egregious ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and in that regard, I would say it's very much in the hands and pockets of whomever wants to purchase the game. Like literally, you
Yeah.
got to vote with your wallet, and you got to stick with your morals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I feel about the situation.
Yes. Yeah. And I can't. And like I said, I already bought the game. So for me, it's like I bought the game and then I saw this and I don't agree with this. But it's like, what do I do? Do I just like not use my copy of the game anymore, or do I just enjoy it for what it is and just have fun with my friends? You know what I mean? Not let politics ruin my experience. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and this is just to expand that conversation just a little bit further.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be something for our viewers to even let us know in the comments about how they feel and how they view the situation.
Yeah.
But to expand it further to something that's about to come soon, Diablo 4 and Blizzard. You know how Blizzard has reacted with the CCP in the past,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Can you
it's
can you okay, I'll just briefly tell people what it was.
yeah,
It was
a
during
streamer.
it was yeah, it was
Go
during a
ahead.
tournament. A streamer held up or a gamer held up support for Hong Kong. And this was it was Overwatch, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. It was Overwatch and they held up support for Overwatch, or not Overwatch. They held up support during an Overwatch tournament for Hong Kong and Blizzard would banned them. Just flat out,
Just straight up.
just straight up banned them. Didn't give any good reason. They just said they violated some terms, and then they were like, "Yeah, we don't allow political statements on our stream." But then they had to come out and be like, you know, basically they were just groveling to everyone because they got really bad reaction from the gaming community. Because the gaming community was like, bro, this guy's totally entitled to his freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? He might not be an American, but we don't. Other Americans, we shouldn't be censoring people around the world. You know what I'm saying? And so people were furious, and they ended up like letting him back. Right? Wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. I
I,
don't think he was ever.
are you sure? I thought they.
I could be completely
Okay.
wrong.
I thought they
Be completely
reduced
wrong, but
his.
I could have sworn they
Okay.
didn't let him back.
It was honestly like a year and a half ago or something like that, right? It was a
Yeah,
little while ago.
yeah.
So I don't remember the details, but yeah, you're right. They immediately banned this guy for his own personal opinion.
It was an ideological censorship,
Yeah.
and I mean, and in that same regard, if I recall correctly, you were really upset about the situation to
Yeah.
the point where you're like, I'm not going to be supporting Blizzard.
Yeah, I actually uninstalled my Blizzard installer
Your Battle.net, right?
for like 6 months or something crazy. Like
Yeah,
uninstalled it for a long time before I played another Blizzard game again.
yeah,
Um,
and they're bringing back Diablo,
yeah,
bringing back
yeah,
Diablo 2. They've got Diablo 4 in the works.
yeah,
Those things are things you want to play.
yeah, yeah.
So how do you battle that moral objection to a company's actions versus the commercial want of playing something that you want to play?
Yeah. Um, I I try not to be too like for one, I don't tell anyone what anyone else what to do. I'm not telling anyone watching this.
To not get guilty
Yeah,
gear strive.
exactly. That is my number one rule, and the reason why I have that rule is because it's not my job. The whole point of this is
To inform.
to inform, and also freedom of like choice, your personal agency, right? So my choice sometimes is to boycott, right? Sometimes it's long term, like if it's a movie that I think something, I don't agree with, then I just won't even watch the movie ever, right? But if
Hmm.
it's a game um, that, well, you know what? I will say this. I
It's
have,
complicated.
it's complicated, but I have not played Overwatch since. Not once. Um,
I mean, to be honest, you're not really good at the game.
hey
I'm
man,
kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm
hey
totally
man,
kidding.
my May was legit, bro.
You
My
were
May was
trash.
legit. Um, but I did play World of Warcraft. I
Yep.
did play World of Warcraft because I'm a
And
huge,
you went back to World of Warcraft Basic too.
yeah, classic. I play classic.
Classic. Pardon.
um,
I was calling you basic.
yeah, I'm basic. So yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. It is complicated, and I do take it by case basis. Sometimes I boycott forever. Sometimes I boycott temporarily. So yeah, it's messy. It's complicated, and it's not something that's easily decided. But I will say this is that even if people purchase the game, even if they play the game, that doesn't mean that you can tell me that I can't have an opinion on this. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the one thing I hate the most is when people go, "But you bought the game, so you can't say anything." No, that's nonsense. You know what I mean? Like you can you can totally still have an opinion on it. Like
The caveat on that is that you can always have an opinion,
yeah,
but you're always going to have consequences
yeah,
to both your opinion and your actions.
exactly. And that's why I like I said I don't tell anyone else what to do. You see what I'm saying? That's how I square that. Because people always say, "How do you square that?" Well, I square that by not telling anyone else what to do. Like, I'm not out here launching a campaign saying you can't buy this game. So that's how I square that, if that makes sense.
Fair.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I just think we shouldn't let money dictate history, or in this case, it's a game story. You know what I mean? It's not that serious, but like you said, it's just when you look at it, it's kind of sinister. It's kind of sinister.
But
Be-
also, like I said, I did say you do take that risk when you bring in real world things into a fictional
yeah,
story, and sometimes people or governments will take offense
yeah,
to what you bring into that, and there are repercussions.
yeah. And so my my whole thing would be like, honestly, I want to know what the Japanese gamers think about this, because in Asia in general, China, Japan, and Korea, they all have their beefs. You know what I'm saying? And I want to know if you're a Japanese player and you're watching this, what do you and your friends think about this? If we're lucky to have someone who watches this who's a Japanese gamer, what do you and your friends think about this? Because that's what I'm
They're
really
too
curious
they're
about.
too busy playing mobile games, according to Square Enix.
Yeah, let us know what you think. The fact that a Japanese company did this, you know what I mean? Like, because the main criticism lately has been on American companies for doing this. Because American companies have been the ones really, like, kind of like doing this. And I
Well,
think,
I mean, Sony's been forcing Japanese companies to censor for quite a bit, at least in terms of
yeah,
sexual conduct
yeah,
or content.
I'm talking
So
about,
I
yeah,
don't think this is too far derived from that kind of thing.
no, but I'm talking about censoring for the sensibilities of the Chinese government.
Mm.
I haven't seen that in a Japanese game yet. Have you? I don't believe I have.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to know what you all think, because I'm troubled with it. I don't like it. I don't like it because
Return your game.
I can't. It's a Steam key. I mean,
Return the Steam key. You know you can return that.
yeah. I'll somehow find a way to destroy it. But yeah, I mean,
Well, don't they have a return policy? They have a return policy for digital content.
I
Like if you play for like 2 hours or less, you can
yeah,
return it.
I bought it.
Ah,
I bought it from one of those third-party key sites
why are you so dirty?
because it's cheap. No, no. Because someone just sent me a link and they're like, "Hey, here's a good deal," and I just got it from that. So
I'm gonna send you so many spam links now because you obviously just click on any link.
no, no. I looked up, is this site legit first? That's what I did.
Oh, you Googled it?
Yeah. And the ironic thing is, the site is probably run in China. But yeah,
Wow.
my I got to say this clearly. My whenever I complain about these things, it's never about the people of that country. It's always about the institutions that want this type of censorship. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not prejudiced at all towards the people in any of these countries that I mentioned. So, yeah, there you have it. Very complicated issue, but very straightforward in a way too. It just I don't like it. um, so, all right. Next up, let's get to some positive news. Konami and Bloober, is that how you say it? Bloober?
Correct.
Team announced partnership amid Silent Hill links. So, did I know you couldn't make it to the show last week, but did you see the segment I did on Abandon? How the
Ooh.
basically
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
s-
How you fell for the trick, and you don't think that Kojima is Hassan Karaman.
exactly. And
Yeah.
because the guy actually came out with a video and was like, "Dude, I'm real."
Oh yeah, that actor. Yeah, he definitely came out. Remember how he was like asked if anyone from their studio can come out, and he's like, no. Remember how he was asked how many people work at a studio, and he couldn't say.
Okay, okay. Um, I just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because he presented himself. He looked like a real person, but I don't know.
He's a fucking puppet.
Maybe he's like one of those AI um, deep
Dude,
fakes. Maybe he's a
yeah,
deep fake.
exactly. CG has gotten really good.
It has. But no, I kind of withdrew my hat from the ring for that rumor. So now we have another rumor that seems more plausible, in my opinion. So Konami and Bloober Team have signed a new strategic cooperation agreement. that will see the companies create games together. So this is actually proof of something, right?
Yes.
The new partnership between Silent Hill publisher and the Medium developer will include jointly developing selected contents and exchanging know-how, according to a statement released by Bloober Team. In a separate press release, Konami said it was excited to work with Bloober Team and other highly regarded development partners to produce games from existing and new IPs. The most interesting is existing. According to people with knowledge from Bloober's plans, one of the projects is working on it's working on is Silent Hill related. However, Video Game Chronicle understands that Konami has already outsourced at least one other Silent Hill project to a prominent developer in Japan, and there could be even more developers working on their own projects. So, so Bloober Team said in February that it was working on an existing horror IP from a very famous gaming publisher. And this is what made the speculation that they were working on a Silent Hill game. So they didn't reveal the identity, but what we do know is that this partnership seems to be real because both parties acknowledged it. So, yeah, what do you think, man? Does this seem like it could be the actual rumor we've been waiting for? Or not rumor, but the
Uh
actual proof we've been waiting for?
oh, okay. Maybe. I mean, it's never going to be proof until it's like solid,
Yeah,
you know? Solid snake. Set in stone, if you will.
yeah,
And it looks like it's heading that way.
yeah.
Um, the question is this what we want? Question mark. You see my face? It's
The
because like
medium.
they've made layers of fear. They've made medium,
Yeah.
and granted, they are, you know, survival horror-ish type games, but they're all in first person.
Hmm.
Oh, I actually haven't played. I don't know the medium. I think medium's third person. Um,
Yeah.
but there's no combat. There's literally no combat, and it's more just like walking and avoiding, hiding, rather than facing your fears,
Yeah, they're
face,
like
face,
they're
facing the terror, and actually fighting, sexy undead nurses or
yeah.
mannequin legs sewn together.
Yeah, it's kind of like a what do they call them? Like a suspenseful game, like a psychological horror type game.
I guess, I
Yeah,
guess. But I mean, the medium I think wasn't too highly rated,
it
even
wasn't.
though it's probably the most Silent Hill of the games that they've created.
Yeah. It
And it's
didn't get
mostly
the
due to the fact that all you do is walk.
yeah.
Um, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it can have that atmosphere and stuff like that, but if it doesn't have that engaging gameplay, then I'm kind of not for it.
Yes.
So,
Same here.
will they uh recreate a Silent Hill type game in the form of their games that they've made, or will they take all that atmosphere and the amazing art direction that they're capable of, and then actually create a Silent Hill type game? And even then, what kind of quality are we looking at?
Yeah, no, you're completely right. The medium did not get the feedback that I thought it was going to get.
Yeah, no, and I was excited when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I became uninterested as I saw as I got to know more of the game and then saw reviews, and I was like, okay, you know what, I can pass on this for now.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they would have to develop a combat system. You know what I mean? And I don't if it would be their first game with a combat system, it might be really clunky. You know what I mean? So
I mean, here's the thing: Silent Hill's combat was never the smoothest anyway.
yes,
It's
yeah,
just more like
you're
a
right.
pipe and
Yeah,
just like knocking
I
things.
always remember the
Um,
pipe.
yeah. So Silent Hill wasn't really known for its combat,
Yeah,
granted, um, but it did add to the suspense and the ability to kind of thwart any enemies that were in your vicinity. Um, it's a different type of immersion.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, look, we've been speculating for over a year now. Like, when is Konami gonna commit to bringing back Silent Hill, right?
Yes.
Um, same with Castlevania. I mean, they've been very hesitant. And we talked about the fact that they pulled out of E3. So yeah, we have to wait and see, because if it is something, it's probably something in the very early stages. So because yeah, like they just finished Medium, so
Yeah.
um, but they did say in February, so maybe who knows? Maybe they started in February working on a Silent Hill game. So
And Konami has a history of giving their IP kind of liberally, I guess,
yeah,
to the point where it just the it tarnishes the brand. Like Silent Hill Downpour and Homecoming,
yeah,
they weren't really good Silent Hill follow-ups.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then Castlevania. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Castlevania when they gave it to Mercury Steam, the first one.
Lord of Shadow.
Correct,
Yeah.
Lord of Shadows. I didn't really care for the 2D one, Mirrors of Fate,
Hmm.
and then the follow-up, Lords of Shadow 2, was not good at all.
Yeah, I heard Lord Shadow
But
2 is
even
bad.
then, there was Lords of Shadow in and of itself was very, I don't want to say controversial because I don't think it was that polarizing.
Yeah,
In that it was more kind of like a God of War / Shadow of Colossus clone
yeah,
than it felt like Castlevania.
yeah,
So I hope this is the right move and that the ends justifies the means.
yeah.
That hopeful optimism that we were talking about earlier.
There is a studio that made a little game called Bloodstained that would be perfect to make a new Konami
Oh
Castlevania game.
man,
They would be,
If Koji Igarashi were to be like, yeah, I'll entertain this, I'll do it. That'd be fantastic. I
yeah,
would love
like
that.
they don't have to be adversaries. You know what I mean? They can work together.
Yeah, but I mean that's going along the same lines as Kojima working with Konami and
Yeah,
making a Silent Hills game or even a Metal Gear Solid game.
exactly, exactly.
You know,
Konami,
like what would the next Metal Gear Solid game look like? Because Metal Gear Survive definitely wasn't it.
yeah, it's weird. It's almost like Konami
And then
holds grudges. You know what I mean?
and then also Contra, that new Contra game. I forget what it was called. It was terrible.
Contra Rogue Core.
So yeah.
Yeah,
It was awful. It was nothing like Contra. So they have a history of trying to revitalize an IP with a different company and
just
it
does not
failing.
work. Doesn't work. So, yeah, I mean, look, like, just who's best to develop those games. They have their own studios. I'm sure, but you know what? Who knows? Maybe Kojima and what's his name? Ikarashi.
Koji Igarashi.
Igarashi.
Yeah, they
Maybe
call them Igavania.
you. Maybe they're so like done with Konami. They'd be like, hell no.
I mean, Bloodstained is Koji's baby. You
Yeah.
know, that's something that he owns completely.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think Bloodstained lacks is the art style. I personally am not a huge fan of the art style or the 3D
Yeah.
look to it. I
Yeah.
prefer very much the sprite look, but that's expensive. I understand.
But it is cool how he kept that whole Victorian age look. You know what I mean?
The gothic thing going
Yeah.
on, yeah, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely, of course.
Okay. So yeah, that's it for that. It's not a rumor per se. The rumor part is that they're working on a Silent Hill game, but the fact that they're working with Konami is established. So that might be the closest we've come to a legitimate potential new Silent Hill game. So, all right. Next up, so this is a tweet from East Series Digital Amilas.
Emila's.
Emila's. So they posted this. They said PSP commerce functionality ends this Friday from the PS3 and PS Vita stores. The PSP store itself shut down years ago. Grab these Nihon Falcom games while you can. And then it lists these PSP games here, I believe. So, and it says to clarify, this means PSP games will be removed from the PS3, PS Vita, and PS TV stores. That's why Jim Ryan said PSP commerce functionality ends. So and this was supposed to happen Friday. This was already supposed to happen. I just checked the PS Vita store. I just checked the PS Vita store and the PS3 store, and I still saw PSP games on it. So, if that is what they meant when they said PSP commerce is going to end, because like the post said, they already shut down the PSP access to the store. And then if you remember, I covered a story where somebody found a loophole in the PSP or the PlayStation online
The web
store.
store? Yeah.
Sony shut that down. They closed down the API calls for that, so that doesn't work anymore.
I'm pretty sure Jim Ryan personally did it himself.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, son of a gun, like just went on and just shut it down.
Yeah.
So
I hate old games.
so yeah, they shut that down quick actually once that rumor was out. I actually went on there and looked at it. I didn't buy anything from it, but I verified
Bro.
it was real. It was working, but they shut it down.
Out of all those games, can you go back to that list real quick?
Yeah.
Out of all those games, just a heads up to any viewers out there that are interested.
Yeah.
East 1 and 2 Chronicles, East Oath and Falgana, East 7, Trails in the Sky, the first chapter, and Gurumen.
Yeah.
All of those have physical versions that are available, at least in the West.
Okay.
The second chapter of Trails in the Sky is only digital, and it's also available on Steam. And Brandish is only digital. I don't think it's available anywhere else.
Okay, so out of all of these, you want to get this one if you want one.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, I just before the show, I logged on my PS3 and I logged on my Vita, and I saw PSP games on there. So I don't know if they're just taking them off one by one, but
one by one. Is it like the photograph in Back to the Future where like his siblings are disappearing slowly?
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, I don't know if they just postponed. They're like, yeah, we don't have time today. Let's just do it next week. You know what I mean? Like I honestly don't know.
Someone was really tired, and they're
Yeah.
like, "I've got a long weekend coming up. Let's just wait it out."
Yeah, let's just do it next week. So
I don't think that's how it works.
dude, you never know, bro. You never know. Sometimes you put a release up for like a
Fair.
software patch, and
Maybe the social media manager jumped the gun. He's like, "Oh, whatever."
so yeah, I still saw them. So you still have time. You still have time to get these PSP games and
Grab those jokers.
Yeah, and like Josie said, you know, they're much better if you play them on your PS Vita. So.
Oh yeah, they're improved when you play them on the PS Vita. So honestly, if this is the last time that you want to legitimately be able to get these games, keyword legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump on it.
And if you don't have a PS Vita yet, get one, because these are still becoming harder and harder to find, and they're still going up in price. I was lucky to get this one
at the price that you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it for just under 200, and
with a memory card.
With a 32 gig memory card, which is insane because those alone sell for
stupid amounts.
I
still want to get a 64 gigabyte, and it's just I can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
It's so darn expensive. It's the price of the console itself.
You know what?
If not more.
You know what your best bet would be? To find a Japanese Vita that is including one of those cards, and then sell the Vita off on eBay and just keep the card.
Why would I do that when I want a second Vita?
Oh, okay, then keep the Vita too, man.
Hey, didn't you do a video where you can hack the PS TV?
No, no,
Tight.
yeah. But I did hack mine, and I it does have PS Vita, PSP, and PlayStation Classic games on it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I loved it. I loved doing the project. There's a guy on YouTube. Man, I can't remember his name. Just has solid tutorials on. Just look up PS Vita jailbreak or PSTV jailbreak, and he's one of the first guys that come up. Man, his
Wait,
two.
is it Mr. Mario?
No, it's a different guy.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Mario's good too, but this other guy is so precise. Like he doesn't miss one step.
Okay.
Every step is documented, so
Cool.
you can tell he puts a lot of work in his videos. But yeah, I followed his and got dude, my PSTV is awesome, dude. It's so small too. You can just
Yeah,
take it around in your pocket and plug it in
I have a
anywhere.
PS TV. I just haven't modded it.
Yeah, it's that's the and also I put the SD to
SD to Vita.
SD to Vita in there, so it has a 256 gig card in it. So it's
That's awesome.
yeah. Um, so yeah, there you have it. You still have time to get PSP games. So yeah, if you really want something that's digital only, I would get it now. Um,
Yeah.
all right, and for our final story, I thought this was pretty cool. Uh, this adapter lets you play Game Boy cartridges on your PC, which is not that inspiring, but it detects fakes. So I thought this was very interesting. So,
Well, not just that, but if I'm correct, this is the same adapter that allows you to upload saves, so you
uh,
can back up your saves.
let's see.
I think Metal Jesus Rocks was just doing a video about it.
Okay. But the device uses MGBA, its core emulator, blah, blah, blah. Events you might, and always updating save files so you can pick up where you left. No, that's something different. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this one is the one that lets you
Upload
recover.
saves.
Yeah, recover your saves. But it does.
I like the fact that I can detect legit copies.
Yes. So that's why I brought this up because Game Boy games are like Game Boy Advanced, Game, Game Boy Color, and now 3DS games are
No,
yes. You didn't.
3DS games haven't been able to. You're lying to me.
They're going up. They're going up in value, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant 3DS games are being faked
No, no, no,
because
no, no,
I haven't seen a fake
no,
3DS
no.
game, but I have purchased a fake DS game,
Yeah. No, no.
and
I.
it was really frustrating because it was sold as new on Amazon, so I didn't even
Ooh.
know. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
didn't even know until I actually opened that Joker, and I was like, wait a second, this is weird.
Yeah. That is weird. But
Yeah.
but
So watch out, y'all.
yeah. So I would say if you're a collector, the fact that it can detect it doesn't say it detects 100% of fakes, but it detects like a large percentage of fakes. I would say it's worth it for that alone if you're a collector. Um, the playing it on emulator with it isn't really,
That great.
that great. But
It's just a good detector faker thingy.
yeah, it's a good detector faker thingy. But
Tight.
apparently the emulator it works is really good too. So if you want to use it for that too, go ahead. Um,
I mean, you can always just invest in a one of those special screwdrivers,
yeah,
and just learn how to detect fakes that way too. Because that's what I do. I mean, uh, and for everyone out there that is collecting and not checking, you should
yes, always check. Always
always
check.
double check.
Um, and yeah, you can look at the board, and a lot of the times the board will have Nintendo
But that
printed on it,
yeah.
or Sega or whatever it is you're looking at.
And the thing is that these repros are getting really sophisticated.
Yes.
Especially, I'd like to say the Sega CD ones, Sega Genesis, because Sega CD is notoriously easy to. I mean, you just you just burn a CD. You can play anything on that thing. Um, and the reproduction of the carts and the art
Mhm.
is just getting better and better.
Yeah.
And so with the prices being as high as they are,
Mhm.
it is it is like, you know, to these more predatory people,
Yeah.
valuable to them to go ahead and be like, yeah, this is legit. Buy it.
Yeah, and we're talking about, we're not talking about repros in the sense that people who sell repros.
No.
We collect those as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about the people who lie and say a repro is the original. Yeah, we have nothing against the repro community.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough.
I just beat Tales of Fantasia on SNES,
Oh,
and
nice.
that was never released stateside, so it was a really cool repro.
Funny enough, I just got a RAM, a new RAM expansion from my Sega CD.
Nice.
Castlemania is selling them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is it a backup cart? Is that what it is?
yeah, it's a RAM cart. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
I actually bought a legitimate one off of eBay for $80.
Yeah.
How much did this one cost?
Let's take a look.
Let's show it to the peeps. Show it to me. Show it to me. But yeah, no, I love Castlemania stuff. They continually bring out some quality stuff. I literally just got my memory card Pro for the PlayStation 1. It just came in last week. And that allows you, that is a memory card for the PlayStation 1, for anyone that doesn't know, that allows you to put in like a micro SD card as large as 2 terabytes to save practically any and all your PlayStation 1 games saves onto the cart, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't that bad. $70 for, yeah, okay.
And
I don't feel too bad now.
Yeah,
Ooh, clear.
Yeah, it's nice. It has where is it? Yeah, so this is what it supports here. I got mine for the to use with the Sega CD because it makes the games run smoother, right?
Well, here's the thing: you need that extra memory for some games, actually, for the Sega CD.
Okay.
I think the one game that I bought it for was Shining Force.
Okay.
Because Shining Force is it's a big game. It's a big game.
Yeah. And it comes in a nice clamshell too. So.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed. You know, like we said, if you like the show or want to support, please like, comment, or subscribe, whatever you want to do, and share it with people to keep the discussion going. You know.
Yeah. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like, and we'll react accordingly.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and take care.
Keep on gaming.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.